nurturing and content.
Mm-hmm.
And these go hand in hand. And so when Felicity talks with a lot of these coaches, like the biggest questions they've had this week have been around content, right? So give me just a quick background for the people of like what the problems are. And I'm going to essentially just try to provide some answers for those questions.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think there's a lot of blockage that I find with coaches. They're like, how do I even begin to post? Like, how do I overcome that fear of putting myself out there? Like, that is problem number one that I find a lot of coaches hit. And then we'll keep working towards people who are already posting consistently. So I think that's like level one problem to start off.
Okay. So how would you word that like specific
Um,
question?
like, how do you overcome the fear of putting yourself out there and posting more consistently?
So I think the fear is nothing more than thinking that we're not a authority in this space.
Mm.
As a coach, oftentimes inside the gym, if you're an in-person trainer or you're in the realm, you are you're the top dog. Everybody comes and asks you the questions. Everybody comes to you of being the expert in the fitness field. And then when it comes to creating content or videos and editing and captions, you're not the expert in that field. That doesn't make you feel good. You're used to being the top guy, the top girl. And then this now comes in and says, hey, you're not good at this. But I always tell people that's like just like when you went to the gym for the first time, like you weren't good at it then either, but now you're the expert. It takes time. You're going to have to post the video that you don't like to get better at doing the thing. If you don't like the way your squats are, you got to keep doing them to get better and better and better at squatting. You can't just magically wake up one day and go, it's going to be perfect today. Like, no, it takes reps. And literally, like, your business is no different than your fitness. You have to do the same things to get 1% better every day. And if you take that approach, you will essentially then get better. So, my biggest advice is just post the thing. 80% of what you want, go for it, send it, post it, full send.
Mm-hmm.
You will get better that way. Also, too, if you're not really confident, start slow. Post the pictures, then post the video of you just working out. Then post the video and it's with food. And you just get a little bit closer to doing talking head video content. And then you just do video content of like, let's say you film a coaching call like this right here. You have a coaching call, film it, let them know that it's being filmed, and then just grab a section of that video out of Zoom, right? Or Riverside or whatever you're using for your coaching call. Or you can do Zoom, put your phone up right here, and then you're talking to your client here, and then just grab a sound bite out of it and then post that before you get the confidence that's needed to be like talking directly to the camera and stating what it is, right?
110% for
So
sure.
start with just recording a conversation that you're already having.
Mm-hmm.
Then you can get to where I'm going to start creating content directly for the camera.
Absolutely. It's really cool when you were talking. The first thing that popped into my head, I mean, like I've thought about this before, but if you just think about it as a coach, like how you're coaching your clients, you're talking about like the 80-20 rule. Like if it's 80% of the way there, post it. And also start slow. It's like people who come to you that are quote unquote a couch potato, you're not going to start them off on a 6 day a week workout plan. Like start slow, start consistent, and then build up from there. One thing that I find that a lot of coaches ask as well is how do you post content and give enough value but not give away everything in the bag of chips?
I think you should give away everything in the bag of chips.
Mm.
So a lot of people's thinking, okay, well, I don't want to give away everything because then why would they pay me? My question goes, why would they pay you if they realize that you don't know anything?
Mm.
So it's better to teach than it is to subscribe.
Yeah.
Most people want to put up this paid wall, but like, well, I'm not going to tell you that until you pay me. And it's like, well, I promise you, there's nothing you're going to tell me that I can't Google or Chat GPT.
Yeah.
And I can do that for free. But people pay for proximity, not for programs. And so it's how are you interacting and keeping that person accountable?
Mm-hmm.
It's not how special your macros are.
No.
It's not your special workout that gets somebody results. It's not your special recipe. Like this is one of those things to where you can give 10 different people the same cookie recipe and they're all going to come out different.
Mm-hmm.
What was the temperature in which they were cooked in? What about the water that they used? What about the baking sheet or the spray itself? What brand sugar did you use? All those things are a factor. And so there's no one special way to do anything. Okay, let's just be very clear. You're not special. And I know that's going to hurt some people's feelings. However, you are when it comes to your proximity and your accountability.
Yep.
How are you coaching the person? Not what are you coaching them on? So you can give away the house, but by giving away the house, you also are opening up and people going, wow, like if your free information is this good, I can't imagine what you're going to get when you pay for it.
Yep.
But also too, like that's so knowledgeable. Like I'm going to follow them for more stuff like this because this is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
And then they realize like, hey, I'm just not holding myself accountable. This person's really smart. Let me just hire them to help me stay accountable. That's how I would I mean, that is the secret sauce. The coaches that have the largest followings put out the best information. The best information is the stuff that's the juiciest. Simple as that. People that have no followers don't put out any information.
Mm-hmm.
People that put out tons of information have tons of followers.
Mm-hmm.
Becomes that simple.
Yeah. No, spice it up. So speaking of like content and all that fun stuff, when it comes to actually posting content, what content actually converts leads to clients the best that you find?
Content that converts lead to clients. Well, I think there's a few things we need to consider here. Content gets leads. Leads create conversations. Conversations create book calls. Book calls creates sales.
Yep.
So now with that information out there, of course, I know you know it. Yeah. Ask me a more specific question.
Is there any specific type of content in a sense of talking head reels or talking about a specific thing that will get those conversations started inside of the DMs the best?
Yeah. So to start more conversations, you need to speak on pain points of people's problems. Mm-hmm. So from a content perspective, most people always talk about workouts. Yeah. When realistically, not a lot of people need workouts as much as they need nutrition advice. So the more information you give out on nutrition advice, the more qualified leads you'll get in that want to lose weight. Mm-hmm. Like, for example, a lot of bodybuilders really, really understand how to work out. Like, I don't need a coach, but I'll take a nice arm workout, right? Mm-hmm. But I wouldn't start a conversation with you around macros, though, because that's not something that I necessarily need help with. So I'm not going to be an ideal client if you put up a bunch of stuff about workouts and a freebie about workouts. It would be better to speak on, again, nutrition advice so that the person that does start talking to you needs your help. Mm-hmm. So start with nutrition stuff. And then whenever you're having conversations with people, you always want to ask questions. So when you give away the free thing or have the conversation or somebody likes the post on macros or comments about it, have the conversation in the sense of very binary style conversation. Have you ever tracked your macros before, or is this your first time? Are you trying to lose weight with these macros? Or are you trying to build muscle with these macros? Versus saying, what's your goal? It's so open-ended that we don't know what to say. We don't know what kind of answer you're looking for. Typically, we assume people know what we're talking about when we need to assume that they know nothing. Mm-hmm. Okay? So we want to give them two answers and let them choose. And if you let them choose, then you can start to navigate this question. It's left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. And now we're walking towards the destination, which is booking that call. If you give them open instructions, they're like, well, I don't know which way to go. And the person's just all over the place.
Yeah. Immediately, I thought of London Tipton, if you guys understand that reference. Left foot, right foot. Just let them walk.
Mhm.
Speaking about content and things of that nature, and going a little bit more in depth of it, um, do you have any specific hooks that you would recommend fitness coaches to use to grab people's attention?
I like hooks that usually come from a negative stance.
Mm,
And what I mean by
like that.
that is 3 ways to lose weight, 3 ways not to get fat.
Mm, catchy.
Same answers, right? Let's just say it's move, eat broccoli, drink water, right?
Yeah.
However, if I say nobody wants to learn how to lose weight, they want to learn how to not get fat or fatter,
Yeah.
right? So they go, hey, like I know that that's something that I need to do. So let me prevent it from happening versus let me make the change.
Yeah.
No one likes change, but they're all for preventing it getting worse.
Yeah. 100%. And everyone's mindset is always in the negative anyways. That's just how our brains are
Yeah.
wired to work. So
Another
if you
way to
replace
view that
that,
is how to save money, how not to lose money. Like
yeah.
most people will click on like losing money versus how to save it.
Yeah.
Saving seems boring. That means I can't spend it versus like how not to lose it. It's like, well, what mistakes are they making that made them lose a lot of money? Let me not do that. I don't want to lose a lot
Mhm.
of money.
Yeah.
Even though the answers are going to be the same, they're just twisted different.
Yeah.
For
100%.
example, take another route. Top 5 places to go on vacation. Top 5 places never to go on vacation at. 5 places you should never go.
Mhm.
I'm going to watch that because I want to make sure I don't go there because it was such a terrible experience for them. Right? It's a lot more, wait a second, like curiosity on the no's versus the yeses.
100%. No, it's at it's simply in an avoidance rather than
Mhm.
like, oh, I
It's a good
have
way
to
to
do
put it.
something. Yeah, 110%. So is there I was oh, I lost my question. I had it written down. Dang it. Give me a second. Do- oh, okay. So I wanted to dive into a little bit of influencer versus coach because I've actually been speaking to a lot of coaches that are
Mhm.
coming from the influencer base.
Yeah.
So how do you play either side more so in
Mhm.
your content
Mhm.
because both are important.
Yeah. So I think from the influencer side, most of your posts are going to be around your image
Mm,
and not a lot on the coaching. So it's basically top of funnel versus middle of funnel.
mhm.
Most of the time, your middle funnel content giving out education is not something that goes viral. Typically, it's going to be your influencer side, which is going to be image or opinion.
Okay.
Opinions normally don't go viral. If they do go viral, it's typically on something that's very broad topic. Very few and far between will you have a video go viral on fat loss
Yeah.
because it's a narrow topic and it has to be shared, liked, and engaged with. And sometimes middle funnel just is like people know that it's like trying to help them do something versus that like I'm not really interested in sharing somebody talking about fat loss because then that now one isn't really fun or interesting, but also it's self-incriminating. So I'm out on sharing things about that attack my biggest insecurity, which
Mhm.
is how big my waist is, for example.
Yeah.
But I will share my opinion on politics, or I will share my opinion on religion, or I will share my opinion on this vacation destination, or this,
Yeah.
that, whatever. But when it comes to food, nutrition, health, those type of things, we typically don't share that kind of stuff because now, again, it's self incriminating when we are insecure.
Yeah.
So, coaches coach, influencers pose. That's what I've always kind of said. And those that have the most followers don't make the most money. Like I want to be really clear on that. Like the likelihood is that you have a chance to make a lot of money, but if you don't coach in any of your content, you're just an influencer and I promise you, we have tons of coaches with 5,000 followers that make a lot more money than a lot of people that have 200,000 followers.
Yep.
Because what type of content are you creating it? Is it just for the gays? Right? Ladies? Or is it to educate? Right? Because at the same time, you got to remember everything that you put out there is going to affect somebody in some shape, form, or fashion.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really important to consider. Hot take. Women that post very promiscuous images, other women are not going to want to work with you because they have kids, and that doesn't make them look good. That doesn't matter how sweet you are. Some people aren't going to like it, which is why you probably want to work with moms, but you can't get that many moms because you're not seeing it from their point of view. You're just saying, well, I'm just being me. Right? No, what you're actually doing is chasing likes. And then you get male gaze coming from that page as well. I'm like, I don't know why I have mostly male following. And it's like, but you do. Which is why you post the content, because it gets the engagement. And anything that doesn't get that engagement, you view as a bad post. But actually what that's doing is building better relationships with the people that will actually pay you.
Yep.
I'm going to flip the coin. Gentlemen, posting like the deep V shirtless, and then you train women. You really think that that woman's husband is going to let her train with you? I don't think so. So it's like, understand that's like when guys are like, they don't want to like that content because it's like, it's way past fitness now, right? It looks like it goes on a book cover model. And I know a thing or two about a book cover model. And then the women are going to be like, well, if I like this, or if I follow this guy, my husband's gonna be like, what's going on? And I just don't feel right doing it because you're not viewing it from their standpoint, right? So your content needs to match your ideal client, not your ideal dating avatar, but your ideal paying avatar. It needs to match not your ego. It needs to match their morals, their beliefs. Okay, this is a business. You got to run it that way so that you can attract the right person.
Absolutely.
If I posted a bunch of financial advice, I wouldn't get very many fitness coaches to come to my page. It just wouldn't. If I post a bunch of shirtless stuff, that isn't necessarily going to help me either. It might get me more clicks, more views, more shares, but that doesn't mean I'm getting more buyers.
100%. Do you have a specific ratio that you would suggest for a coach to post between, like, out of 9 posts? What would that ratio be of influencer versus coach?
Yeah, definitely need a transformation in the first 9. I also think a pinned post needs to be in a transformation as well. I think out of every 9 posts, you should have at least one personal post that is of you, wife, kids, spouse, personal life. At least one there as well. I think that you can add in humor content or, some belief content, dog, like something like that. And also I'd probably say, let's say 5 out of 9 are actually educational as far as I consider coaching content, from workouts to nutrition to things like that. So I'd probably say, let's say 5 out of 9 are going towards the business, and then 4 out of 9 going towards the more personal touch, travel, dogs, things like that. Here's the thing. If you don't have leads, but you're getting a lot of views, then that means that you're not posting enough middle of funnel content, which is going to be the educational stuff, the talking head reels. If you don't have any leads and you're not getting views, or if you're getting a lot of views, or excuse me, not getting a lot of views, but leads is going to be based off of how many followers you got at that point. Because if you post nothing but middle funnel content and you have a lot of followers, then that means you're posting really good middle funnel content and you have a lot of leads.
Yeah.
However, and I would consider like our page, like my page personally, to be more on the middle of funnel than top of funnel. Like it's like 9 to 1. but I also drive traffic through ads. So it's slightly different. I don't have to go get reach. I'm paying for it. I play the short game, not the long game.
Yeah.
If you don't have the money to invest in the ads, then don't play the short game. You got to play the long game.
Yep.
But I would state that if you don't have leads and you don't have views, you need to post more top of funnel content. Not pictures, because pictures don't help you get more views, but you need to post more things that are top of funnel. And the best thing to do there is look at your Explore page and then see posts on there and then replicate posts like that post.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best thing I can suggest you do. It's on the Explore page for a reason. Make more stuff like that that's on the Explore page.
Yeah.
It's not just about posting. It's about posting the right type of content, top of funnel or middle of funnel. Get views, but no leads. We need to post middle of funnel content. If we not getting any views and maybe leads, maybe not leads, you need more top of funnel content.
Mm-hmm.
So that way you can get more people out there and more people to see it. And then once they see it, then they'll come back and see your middle funnel content, your coaching content, and then actually take some action.
Love it. Could you segue for a second, and could you explain top, middle, and bottom of funnel so anybody
Yeah.
who doesn't know what
So
that is?
top of funnel is cold traffic. Middle of funnel is going to be your warm traffic. Bottom funnel is typically post-purchase traffic.
Mm-hmm.
So more people is going to be at the top, right? So this is going to be like your 60% of people, the people that are not problem aware. They don't know who you are. They don't know how to pronounce your last name. They just seen a dog running around doing something funny and you posted it. They're going to see you running and it's a hype video. It's a nicely edited video. They're going to come in. This is the dancing video. This is something that is very broad, very generic, very vague. Going to be humor based, motivation based, something that doesn't fix a problem, but something that triggers this sense of just, again, humor, motivation, or something that a lot of people can relate to and want to share.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about you really at all. Middle of funnel content is going to be content that is more specific to a certain person.
Mm-hmm.
This could be, again, a transformation. This can be something around what you find interesting about macros, a recipe trick that you do to help you achieve XYZ goal or outcome. This can be like 3 big things you like to do to emphasize your calves, like something that's just more specific and educational, usually talking head reel on education. Bottom of funnel is going to be something that's going to focus on retargeting, usually, again, post-purchase. In the coaching world, in the service world, you don't necessarily talk a lot about bottom of funnel. Because bottom of funnel in like the e-commerce world that I came from, it's like you bought this coffee, but I need you to buy again. So it's a repeat purchase. In the coaching world, we don't have repeat purchases. Usually we have a subscription, and that doesn't require a repeat purchase because it is a repeating purchase. So if you sold ebooks and one-off ebooks at $12, it would be basically an email going back out to a person that purchased saying, hey, I saw that you bought this, but would you like to get this too? Or, hey, how was your last 6 weeks? What about this to spice it up? So it's retargeting people that purchase something. And you'll typically see this in ads. And a great example of an ad in the e-commerce world is, it's been 30 days, time to refill. That's an example of a retargeting type of piece of content that's typically done through ads or emails or behavior-based models off of when a purchase came through.
It's based off of extension of the current client.
Yes, it's an ascension model.
Yeah. Expansion, that's the word. Very interesting to think of, even just like possibilities of how coaches could even use bottom of funnel, like upselling to like an affiliate supplement company or things of that nature, even though it's not spoken about or used enough. I think it is possible. It's just a matter of figuring out ways to do it, but it's really is interesting to listen to you talk about the 3 different pieces of a
Yeah.
funnel. One last question for you before we end off today. Do you have any specific? Because I know you're fabulous at making content.
Far stretch.
You're very good at it. How about that? But do you have any recommendations for a coach who just struggles to come up with ideas for their own content?
Yeah, go to your explore page, type in leg workout routines.
Mhm.
Type in anything that you can think of, and then you're going to see a bunch of videos matching that. Find the
Yeah.
ones that did well and just remake them. Please, whatever you do, don't say, "Oh, I don't want to be like everybody else." You mean on the explore page getting tons of views, getting lots of clients? You don't want that?
Drop the mic.
Like, what are we talking about? The reason that coaches say, "I don't want to be like everybody else," is because they don't know what to do. And then when they try to do the thing that everybody else does, it sucks. And so they go, "I want to do something different." And it's like, well, you're not going to be able to do something different because you can't recreate the wheel.
No.
You can make adjustments and changes to it. But literally, like, there is 500 million tweets going out every day. And you think you're going to be unique? Like, let's jump off the high horse for a second and be like, you just need to learn how to like put the saddle on the horse. Like, you're not even there yet.
Yeah.
And I'm the guy that's like one to try to make stuff different too. And I realized like this is not even possible. Like, there's only so many ways you can do a squat. Like, just do the squats. And the more you do it, the better you get at it. You don't have to worry about being different. The biggest people say do the basics.
Foundation.
Just do the basics. It's the foundation of working out in the big three. Just do the basics and get really good at them. But you get really good at them by doing them over and over and over.
Practice makes perfect. And just a constant work. That was great to end off. Thank you so very much. This was fun. I like picking your brain.
Thank you. Thank you. 8 tickets. The event right here in Dallas. We're actually going to speak on content with Michael Smoke with Higher Wellness. Here, headquarters Dallas, only 30 seats total that coaches essentially can come to. Not only are we going to speak on content, we're also going to do an ads workshop as well. We're going to walk through all different types of ads. So if you're a coach just wanting to learn more about ads, you're wanting to grow your audience, you're not the best at creating content, but you still want to have a strategy to get in front of people and get leads inside your coaching business, you can come not only learn from Mike, but also learn from us as well here at AR. And then also too, we're going to film and edit these things as well, give you feedback, and then also give you some professional content from our videographer and photographer as well. So all around, it is going to be a great event for anybody to look into up their organic or paid content game.
Yeah. And just an extra plug for Mr. Smoke here is if you guys want to see incredible content, go and follow him. He has nailed the content game. And I'm super excited to see him speak again.
Yep. And you can just find the link below. That's going to be arfunnel.io.
Yeah.
Put that in the description. You'll be able to come check that out. So arfunnel.io. And we hope to see you guys there.
Can't wait to see you. Thank you guys. Bye. Wink. Wink. All right.